479 million are without basic sanitation. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent real challenges that demand both proven experience and bold innovation. By the end of today's debate, you, our audience, will decide which team presents the most compelling case for Africa's water and sanitation future. While both teams will definitely bring valuable perspectives, only one can emerge victorious. Let me ask a question first. Do we have any football fans in the room? Yeah, good. Who are you rooting for the next African Cup of Nations? Okay, I'm hearing Côte d'Ivoire. I'm hearing South Africa. I'm hearing Ghana. Mais où sont les Sénégalais? Where are the Senegalese people? Oh, faut parler plus fort, on n'entend rien. Okay, so I'm from Dakar, as I said earlier, so I'm rooting for Senegal. So just like for the African Cup of Nations, you all are going to root for your teams. But we all know that at the end of the day, Senegal will win. We know that. Do we agree? Yes, I heard one. Good. So, just like that, it's going to be exactly the same principle for today. Will the seasoned professionals win, those with institutional knowledge, or would it be the champions of change, the young professionals team, who will take the award home? Before we begin the exciting battle of ideas, it is my pleasure to welcome someone who has witnessed the evolution of the sector firsthand. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sylvain Usher, AfWASA's board advisor, but also former executive director. With decades of experience shaping policies and fostering collaborations across Africa, Sylvain will set the stage for us and clarify all of what's at stake for the intergenerational showdown. So, Sylvain, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Farah, for my introduction. And good afternoon, all of you. And it's my pleasure to talk today on the issues of intergenerational debate, taking into consideration two groups of people in the water sector. We have the senior professionals and the young water professionals. And I'm here to discuss about the issues of that relation that can work sometimes and sometimes that can't work. And the idea is to say, what should we be doing to make it work? Like Farah said, I saw many generations coming in the water sector. Those senior that today are going to be playing the senior role were, when I came in, young water professionals. So now I will introduce my speech. I have the French version of what I will be saying on the board for the people who don't speak English, but you have interpretation, so you can still see what's going on. So my presentation will be on those 3 points. First of all, intrinsic generational barriers that hinder relation between young and old in Africa. What can both groups bring professionally to each other for the sake of the sector, and what can be done to make it happen? So, it always happen this way. Okay, good. So, intergenerational relation in Africa can be affected by various intrinsic barriers that hinder effective collaboration and mutual understanding between young and older generation. So here are some key barriers. One of the major key barriers is the cultural norms and value, respect of the elder, Many African cultures place a high value on respect of the elders, which can lead to a dynamic where younger people may feel discouraged from voicing their opinion. Communication gaps, variation in communication style, including language use and modes of expression, digital communication for use, etc., can create misunderstanding. Technology divide. Many young people are more adept with technology and social media, while the older individual may not have the same level of comfort. Differing priorities and goals. Young individuals may prioritize issues such as job opportunity, environmental concern, and social justice, as well as be more focused on immediate change. Hierarchical structures. Many institutions in Africa have hierarchical structures that where seniority is valued over merit. And access to education, differences in education opportunities and experiences can create issues that older generation did not face. So these are some cultural barriers that can happen. You have a bright young engineer and you have an old head of department, and the young engineer cannot speak that the way he wants because the older chief of department is an elderly man. But what can both groups bring professionally to each other? No. That's it. Can you help me with your thing here?
Yeah.
This is a senior.
Professional help.
This is high technology for senior guys.
Is this the one you want?
No, this is the first one. Second one, third one. That's it. Okay, that's
There.
good. No, that's
Did I?
that's one. Thank you. So what did
I
you
guess I'm still young. I pressed on the arrow.
Okay. This is some kind of issue that you encountered sometimes. So, what can both groups bring professionally to each other? In the context of the intergenerational situation in the water and sanitation sector, both senior and young professionals offer unique contributions that can complement each other effectively. Here are a comparative analysis of what each group can bring to the table. Contribution of senior professional. You can see experience and knowledge. Senior professional possess extensive experience in water and sanitation projects, allowing them to draw from past successes and failures to guide current practices. Mentoring and leadership. Senior professional in the position to mentor young colleagues, and also networking and partnership. Veterans in the field often have robust networks, enabling them to forge partnership and mobilize resources. On the other hand, what contribution can the young professional bring to the table? Innovative thinking. Young professionals bring innovative ideas and creative solutions to existing problems, often by traditional methods. Engagement and empowerment. Young professionals are passionate about advocating and sustainable practices and can engage their peers in communities. Adaptability and agility. Young professionals tend to be more agile and adaptable to change, which is essential in addressing the evolving challenges in the water and sanitation sector. And also long-term commitment and vision for the future. What kind of collaborative potential we can see here? Together, senior and young professionals can create a very, very strong synergetic effect that enhances the water sector. If senior professionals mentor young professionals, they can guide them very well. If young professionals bring energy and innovation, which can inspire senior colleagues to explore new approaches. And by working together, they can create a dynamic team that balances innovation with experience. But what can be done to make this happen? Overcoming intergenerational barriers in a professional environment, particularly in the water and sanitation sector, can lead to enhanced collaboration, innovation, and effective problem solving. One, it can foster open communication, regular dialogue mentorship program, which establish regular meeting of forum where employees of all ages can share their idea, experiences, and suggestions. And two, we should encourage collaboration on projects. From project team composed of individuals from different generations, implement job shadowing initiative that allow younger employees to learn from their older counterparts. Promote technology training and development. Should conduct workshops that address generational differences and emphasize the value of diverse perspective in problem solving. Leverage technology for communication. Communication is very important because today, communication is a big part of how you are running your utility. So you should implement digital collaborative tools that facilitate communication among team members. Recognize and value contribution and celebrate achievement across generation. Acknowledge and celebrate the contribution of professionals from all groups. Focus on common goals and shared vision and values. We should articulate a clear vision and set off values for the organization that emphasize the importance of collaboration and respect across generation. And then encourage feedback and continuous improvement, which creates processes for employees to provide feedback on intergenerational relation and collaboration. So, in conclusion, overcoming intergenerational barriers in the workplace, especially in sectors like the water and sanitation, is essential for fostering innovation and improving service delivery. And by promoting open communication, encouraging collaboration, and leveraging the strength of both younger and older professionals, organizations can create an inclusive environment where knowledge sharing and mutual respect thrive. This ultimately leads to improved outcomes, better problem solving, and a stronger and more resilient workforce dedicated to addressing the critical changes and challenges of the water and sanitation sector. And this is what I wanted to say related to the intergenerational debate that will take place later on, but these are the issues that we have to overcome as generations are changing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sylvain, for setting the stage. Thank you. Your insights perfectly frame the discussion we're about to have. Before I introduce the impressive lineup of debaters, let me quickly outline how the debate will go about for the next 70 minutes or so. First, we're going to hear for about 5 to 7 minutes opening statements from both teams. One nominated speaker will present their team's vision for Africa's water future. These statements will lay the foundation for our discussion. Then we'll move to the challenges round, where both teams will explore two critical issues. The first one, climate change and water security, and technology integration in water management. These two issues should not come to any surprise based on all of the powerful addresses and speeches we've heard since the beginning of the day. So each team will have 5 minutes to respond to each challenge. And they will present their unique perspectives and solutions. Following this, we'll enter a solution round. And here it will be all about proposing concrete and tangible ways of accelerating progress in our sector. Finally, we'll open the floor to you, our audience, so that you can pick, well, first you're going to do an interactive Q&A, of course, we'll do that first, and then we're going to ask you to pick the team who presented the most compelling case. All right, so remember, we have to make it interesting. All right. So now, let me introduce our debaters. We'll start with the senior professionals. Yes, Sonko Kiwanuka, who's bringing 29 years of water utility management expertise from Uganda, who now works across the continent, and he's the CEO of WSS Services. Please, Sonko, join me on stage. Thank you. Followed by Kwame Emeluku, who's advisor to the Director General at AAECIE in Côte d'Ivoire. Luku, sous vos applaudissements. Dr. Barbara Kazimbaya Senkwe, Chair of the African Women Sanitation Professionals Network, championing inclusive solutions across the continent. Dr. Barbara, you're most welcome. Géraldine Logmo, combining 35 years of communications expertise with water sector leadership as Vice President of AfWASA's Strategic and Technological Council. Sous vos applaudissements. And last but not least, Sili Mebwe, CEO of Lilongwe Water Board and current President of the Water Services Association of Malawi and Vice President of AfWASA. Now, moving on to the young professionals team. Okay, that's okay. Sylvain, they're asking me that you actually move to this side of the stage, and then we'll call you back. This was very subtle. We'll try to do better next time. Okay. All right. So challenging this brilliant team of senior professionals, we have Dr. Francine Abiola, WASH consultant from Benin, but working across the continent. Sous vos applaudissements. Evelyn Mukajusi, leading Uganda's Young Water Professionals chapter. Ches Van Ness, bringing global perspectives through Wave Makers United, working in Uganda and Rwanda. More energy. I need more energy. This is, clapping is free. Don't worry, clapping is free. Okay, great, thank you. Adwa Nsinka Mutembu, I got it. Board member of the African Youth Parliament for Water and regional lead of the South African Water and Sanitation Youth Network. You're most welcome. And last but not least, in the Young Professionals team, we have Serge Bashunga, President of the Young Water Professional Chapter in DRC, and Youth Representative in the AfWASA's Strategic Council. So here is our impressive lineup of debaters. We now have 10 voices, countless years of combined experiences, boundless innovation and innovative potential. So let the debate begin. Are you ready? Are you scared? I am scared for you, because these young folks are determined to win, so. All right. Let's move on to the first opening statement, which I believe is going to, on the side of the senior professionals, is going to be made by Géraldine. Géraldine, the floor is yours. And if you could actually come all the way over here, that would be great. Thank you. Merci, Géraldine.
Okay, good afternoon. Bonsoir. I'm going to speak French because it's a debate, and I want to have all my words to be able to say what I want to say and transmit the vision that we seasoned. Now there is that word, seasoned. I think it's better than senior in any case. So I will speak French, thank you. If you can wear your earphone. Alors, bon après-midi. Je me tiens devant vous ce matin, cet après-midi, je dis cet après-midi. Je suis Géraldine Pouma-Logmo, on vous l'a dit, 35 ans de service, pas seulement dans le métier de l'eau et de l'assainissement, dans la carrière professionnelle. Donc vous comprenez que je suis vraiment du bon côté. Alors, la vision que je voudrais transmettre de la part de mes amis seasoned ou seniors, comme vous voulez, cet après-midi se construit autour de 3 articulations. La première, c'est la force de l'expérience. La deuxième, c'est le vivre ensemble. Et la troisième articulation, c'est la transmission. Donc c'est autour de ces 3 piliers que je voudrais exprimer rapidement, parce que nous avons seulement 5 minutes, la vision qui est la nôtre par rapport au thème autour duquel nous devons débattre. Donc, encore une fois, pour moi, c'est un privilège de m'adresser à vous en se tenant de ce côté, parce que hier, j'étais junior. Aujourd'hui, je suis senior, et c'est le cycle de la vie. Et je pense qu'à chaque étape, il faut en faire un moment mémorable où on contribue à ce pourquoi nous nous levons chaque matin. Donc, dans le cadre de ce débat, je voudrais exprimer au nom de mes pairs ici présents la vision de l'équipe senior à l'occasion donc de ces débats. Cette vision, il m'a été demandé doit porter sur le thème de notre congrès, eau et assainissement, un avenir sûr pour l'Afrique. Toute la pertinence de ce thème a déjà commencé à vous être transmise, va continuer de l'être pendant 2 ou 3 jours par d'éminents experts, par des chercheurs, par des praticiens. Donc moi, je voudrais plutôt l'aborder sous un autre angle, sous un autre prisme. À la lumière de ce débat, l'exercice qui m'a été demandé donc au nom du groupe m'a un peu fait sourire. Parce que quand on demande à une senior de parler du futur, on a l'impression que ça se télescope, qu'il y a quelque part une antinomie. Mais en réalité, ce que nous voulons transmettre cet après-midi, c'est qu'aucun futur, aucun avenir ne peut se construire sans le passé et sans le présent. Et le passé, généralement, il est détenu, ne serait-ce qu'au niveau de la mémoire, par ceux qu'on appelle seniors. Je dis ce qu'on appelle seniors parce que nous, on sait qu'être jeune, c'est de 7 à 77 ans, et voire au-delà maintenant. Donc, seniors et futurs, ce que nous voulons vous dire cet après-midi et ce que nous voulons faire, c'est faire mentir la vision réductrice du senior qui le classe dans les has-been, dans ceux qui ont déjà fait leur temps et qui n'ont plus rien à apporter. Le senior, on le voit souvent ou on le range dans la catégorie du passé, avant, et surtout pas demain. Et si on est gentil, on met maintenant. Mais généralement, c'est avant. Donc si on l'applique à notre secteur, on pourrait extrapoler et dire qu'est-ce qu'un senior, un ancien, peut proposer pour le futur d'un avenir, un avenir sûr dans le domaine de l'eau. Eh bien moi et les miens, mon groupe, nous voulons vous dire tout. Parce que le senior d'aujourd'hui et le jeune d'hier, comme je le disais tout à l'heure, il a donc une longueur d'avance. Il a la sagesse, on est en Afrique, on sait ce que c'est que la sagesse des anciens, des aînés. Il a la connaissance parce qu'en son temps, il a fait également des études les plus poussées dans le domaine qui est le sien et l'a mise au service de notre secteur. Et puis, il a la connaissance du terrain, de la pratique. C'est ce que j'appelais tout à l'heure la force de l'expérience. Dans ma carrière, j'ai souvent rencontré des jeunes brillamment formés que je devais encadrer avec des masters, des doctorats. Mais ce qui leur manquait souvent, c'était la connaissance du terrain et le temps qu'il faut pour avoir cette connaissance. Le senior également, il a pour nous la seniorité qui renvoie à l'accessibilité. Il en a vu beaucoup, il en a vu pas mal. Donc il est ouvert au coaching, au mentorat, disposé pour cela. Et plus il avance, plus nous avançons, nous nous tournons vers le futur, pas de la même manière, mais pour transmettre. Donc cette notion de transmission et de pont entre les générations. Donc c'est ce que j'appelais dans les piliers, donc la transmission. Et je pense que les jeunes doivent prendre de la graine, un peu de patience et s'inspirer de ce que les anciens peuvent leur apporter. Et puis la seniorité également renvoie pour nous à la durabilité, à la mémoire. Quand je commençais ma carrière, je me souviens d'un aîné, il était venu me donner quand il partait à la retraite tout ce qu'il avait comme document fichier. Il avait appelé ça le devoir de mémoire. Et c'est sur ça que moi-même je me suis construite. Donc nous avons ici le devoir de mémoire et le devoir de transmission ensuite.
Géraldine, à cause du droit d'aînesse, je t'ai laissé 1 minute supplémentaire.
D'accord, je termine. Donc, la dernière chose que je voudrais dire, c'est que pour que ça marche, il faut construire la confiance et le pont entre générations. Jeunes gens, soyez humbles, prenez le temps d'apprendre, respectez les aînés, nous sommes en Afrique. Et pour finir, nous avons la force de l'expérience, mais nous sommes à votre service, à votre disposition. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup, Géraldine. La force de l'expérience, mais avec quand même une petite touche de menace à la fin. J'espère que vous avez tous entendu. Francine, respecte tes aînés. À toi. Micro.
Ok. Bonsoir à tous. Bonsoir à toutes. Je ne vous entends pas. Bonsoir à tous. Bonsoir à toutes.
Bonsoir.
Très bien. Je suis, comme on a dit à la présentation, Dr Francine Abiola. Je représente les jeunes qui sont impatients, même s'ils respectent les aînés. Alors, distingués invités, chers seniors, pour ceux d'entre vous qui ont lu le rapport sur les ODD 2024, vous serez d'accord avec moi de dire que les conclusions qui y figurent sont tout à fait choquantes. Pourquoi c'est choquant ? 17% des cibles des ODD sont sur la bonne voie, uniquement 17%. Alors posons-nous un instant la question suivante. Imaginez que vous soyez dans une maison en feu et que vous savez que c'est votre père qui n'a pas forcément bien travaillé pour qu'il n'y ait pas de feu. En tant que jeune, qu'est-ce que vous vous demanderez? Est-ce que j'attends que mon père, qui pendant de longues années n'a pas pu apporter la solution, ou bien je vais chercher cette solution moi-même? De la même manière, mes collègues et moi doutons fortement que nos collègues seniors soient les mieux placés pour garantir l'avenir que nous désirons en tant que jeunes. Nous voulons leur expérience, mais nous sommes impatients. Selon les perspectives de la population mondiale 2019, l'Afrique possède la population la plus jeune du monde avec 70% de personnes de moins de 30 ans. Cette jeunesse de l'Afrique n'est pas qu'une statistique. C'est l'appel à l'action, c'est l'appel à l'implication des jeunes pour notre avenir. L'avenir du secteur de l'eau en Afrique repose donc sur une génération qui est à l'aise avec la technologie, qui est résiliente et qui est également débordante de solutions créatives. Une génération qui comprend que tous les secteurs de développement sont interconnectés. La santé, l'éducation, le genre, etc. Une génération également qui comprend qu'il faut que nous arrachions un peu de l'expérience des anciens pour nous construire. Le monde actuellement est en pleine crise. Nous avons la crise économique, la crise financière, et toutes ces crises sont aggravées par le changement climatique. Et pour faire face au changement climatique, il nous faut des solutions innovantes, des solutions novatrices. En tant que jeunes professionnels, nous sommes convaincus et espérons vous convaincre cet après-midi que nous apportons non seulement un mélange d'expertise technique, mais également un esprit innovant, un leadership stratégique et une vision inclusive. Et en grandissant dans un monde en pleine transformation numérique, nous voyons très bien à quoi peut servir la technologie. La technologie permet de connecter les idées et de connecter les personnes. Nous sommes convaincus qu'en intégrant ces technologies, nous pourrons construire des systèmes intelligents capables de révolutionner le monde de l'eau et l'assainissement. Cependant, la technologie et les innovations seules ne peuvent pas assurer un changement durable. Elles doivent être associées à notre style de leadership, comme Géraldine l'a dit, qui respecte les aînés, mais pour moi, reste impatient face aux défis actuels. Pour concrétiser cette vision, nous croyons fortement à la collaboration et à l'esprit d'apprentissage. En utilisant les forces des nouveaux outils de communication, nous pouvons créer des réseaux qui sont solides et inclusifs et qui vont engendrer au niveau de notre secteur, au niveau de l'Afrique, des changements profonds. Ces changements profonds également passent par l'éducation des jeunes, par les jeunes à travers les outils de communication. La collecte continue des données et leur analyse sont cruciales pour comprendre l'impact que nos initiatives vont avoir sur le terrain. En parlant de changement climatique, par exemple, notre réponse doit être proactive, basée sur l'expérience, mais également basée sur la force de l'innovation. Nous pensons que, nous sommes sûrs qu'adopter l'innovation comme catalyseur de changement va transformer les défis en tremplin vers un avenir plus lumineux. À la fin de mon speech, bientôt à la fin, je voudrais que vous pensiez aux jeunes en tant qu'apporteurs de changement, en tant que bouleverseurs de ce que nous avons toujours eu. Et je voudrais que vous gardiez en tête ces quelques mots. Quand on parle de jeunes, on parle de collaboration, on parle de coopération, on parle de communication numérique, on parle de connexion, on parle d'inclusivité, d'intégrité et enfin, quand on parle de jeunes, on parle d'innovation. Je vous remercie.
Merci beaucoup, Francine. Merci à toi et puis à Géraldine pour ces mots d'ouverture. Sans transition, now let's just move now and tackle the heart of the debate, the two critical challenges that will shape Africa's water future. I'm going to invite representative of each team to join me on stage, on each side of the stage, for the senior professionals and the young professionals. Who's tackling the first challenge? Oui. Kwame. Parfait. All right, so as you get settled, our first theme is climate change and water security. Climate change is amplifying water scarcity, increasing the frequency of extreme weather events, and putting additional pressure on existing water systems. Senior professionals team, we'll start with you, and then we'll give the floor to the younger ones. So, senior professionals team, what do you see as the major obstacles to climate adaptation in our water and sanitation sector? What is holding us back?
Merci. Bonsoir à tous et à toutes. Chez nous, à Abidjan, on dit que c'est dans les vieilles marmites qu'on fait les bonnes sauces. Effectivement, le changement climatique impacte l'ensemble de nos sociétés d'eau, toute la chaîne de valeur. Ce sont des impacts actuels, mais il y a aussi des impacts futurs si rien n'est fait. Rapidement, au titre de la variabilité des ressources en eau, aujourd'hui, la disponibilité de l'eau est réduite à cause des changements des régimes de précipitation qui entraînent des pénuries d'eau dans certaines régions, rendant plus difficile l'approvisionnement en eau des populations. Il y a également la saisonnalité des crues. Il pleut fort aujourd'hui, demain il pleut moins. On n'a plus cette capacité à mobiliser la ressource pour dérouler notre activité qui, je le rappelle, a de la production à la distribution et à la fourniture d'eau aux clients. Donc cette saisonnalité accrue, parce qu'on fait face à des périodes très fortes de sécheresse, va être véritablement un challenge pour toutes les sociétés d'eau d'Afrique. Également, il y a une certaine variabilité justement dans la ressource, déjà en termes de qualité de l'eau. Les inondations, les crues, les événements climatiques extrêmes dans leur ensemble ont pour caractéristique de polluer nos eaux par drainage, de polluer également tout notre réseau d'assainissement et de drainage. Il y a également les changements dans la qualité de l'eau elle-même. vous avez des températures extrêmes aujourd'hui qu'on observe et l'introduction de nutriments dans nos ressources en eau qui affectent la qualité de la ressource et demandent qu'on fasse des ajustements dans nos systèmes de traitement. Sur les infrastructures, les opérations, il y a également tout ce dérèglement qui impacte nos infrastructures. Casse de conduite, inondations, rupture des barrages, etc., etc. Et cela perturbe le fonctionnement classique de nos opérations. Tout cela apporte également des coûts supplémentaires, des coûts additionnels auxquels nous devons faire face justement pour continuer à délivrer le service. Bon, je ne vais pas m'étendre également sur le futur. Le futur, écoutez, on va faire face à une augmentation des coûts pour le traitement des eaux. On va devoir investir dans les infrastructures pour garder notre résilience face à l'impact de ces changements climatiques-là. Voici rapidement brossé ce que je pourrais dire comme challenge et défi auxquels nous sommes confrontés aujourd'hui et auxquels nous serons confrontés demain.
Merci beaucoup. Je pense qu'on devrait donner des points supplémentaires pour ceux qui respectent le temps. Sans transition, à vous. Same question. What do you see as the major obstacles to climate adaptation in our water and sanitation sector? What is holding us back?
Alors, merci beaucoup. Le Seigneur a évoqué des points très importants auxquels je ne vais pas beaucoup revenir. Nous avons également compris que l'eau est le principal vecteur par lequel le changement climatique affecte les sociétés et les écosystèmes. Nous avons retenu effectivement qu'il y a tout ce qui est modification des régimes de précipitation, inondation et consorts. Mais au-delà de ça, j'aimerais évoquer un point peut-être qui est vraiment important, mais qui a été oublié, c'est effectivement par rapport aux défis liés à la pollution industrielle, la pollution plastique, qui est d'ailleurs actuellement un des grands fléaux de l'humanité actuelle. C'est un problème que nos pays font face à travers le monde d'ailleurs, parce que nos ressources sont de plus en plus polluées dans le plastique. Et comment cela affecte les climats? Vous savez que lorsque les ressources sont polluées, il y a ce qu'on appelle, ça obstrue le phytoplancton. Vous savez, le phytoplancton joue un rôle important dans la séquestration des carbones atmosphériques. Et quand les ressources sont polluées par le plastique, ça essaie un peu de bouleverser ces systèmes qui est vraiment naturel. Alors, au-delà de ça, il y a beaucoup de facteurs comme la sécheresse et consorts. Alors, Madame Géraldine a dit effectivement, nous respectons beaucoup les seniors. Hein. Vous avez la connaissance, vous avez la force de l'expérience, vous avez la sagesse. Mais n'oublions pas effectivement que le changement climatique et la crise de l'eau auront plus des conséquences à long terme. Ça veut dire que c'est les jeunes qui pourront vivre plus longtemps avec ces défis. Parce que je peux parier avec vous, actuellement on nous dit de tout ce qui va se passer en 2050, mais je me dis que la majorité d'entre nous en 2050...
Integration, who is going to be representing the senior professionals? Integration, who is going to be representing the senior professionals? Sonko, welcome. On the young professionals team, it'll be Evelyn. Brilliant. Great, let's encourage them. All right, challenge 2, technological integration. Digital tools and smart technologies are transforming the water sector, but challenges remain in scaling and adopting these solutions. Let's start with the senior professionals again. You have 5 minutes. All right?
Thank you, Farah.
Let me ask my question, please. Okay. You ready? Good, I like it. What makes technological integration particularly challenging? What are the obstacles you've encountered? Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm privileged and happy to be here. I have 4 parts in my answering this. Please bear with me. This technological and innovation has no age. It just emerges because of the demand. 1, cost optimization. If we could improve and have our systems efficient, probably we'll have better services. And this is to do with chemical application, it's to do with energy optimization, and at times there is even lack of energy. Lack of energy. Then the next one is water losses. When you read reports which are coming from AfWASA and other researchers, there are utilities which lose in the up or over 50%. And if we don't have good technology or innovation, we are challenged as utilities. The next is on wastewater. My colleagues who talked about climate change, they did, and also in the morning, we did see Professor Kassam mentioned about 80% of wastewater goes to the environment untreated. We need to see and improve the models which we have in treating our wastewater. Fuel cost sludge management in totality, looking at the compartment of containment, transportation, the haulage, the different equipment we have in going around those low-income populated areas. And then also on wastewater, what is happening on the continent, we have very archaic treatment technologies. The processes we have, and the majority of our countries treat water to the second level. Very little is done on nutrients, as the climate people mentioned. And then also, we have not really gone very far in reuse and recycling. The third of those challenges is the support systems utilities use in areas of finance management, maintenance, asset management, communicating with our customers. Professor Kassam mentioned that what the customer and the consumer want is water. So we should be having that interaction. Our management information system, GIS, so that we know where our assets are, the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are areas which are still not there. It's a challenge, but there is we are in the tunnel, and I think at the end of the tunnel there will be light. Now, breaking, I think I still have some time.
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Okay. On chemicals, of course, the equipment we have in dosing, monitoring in real time and space is a challenge. Energy audit, inefficient equipment are still there, which most utilities are using, and not only efficient, some are oversized, some are undersized. We see generators which assist in areas which are hard to reach with power. These, in most cases, are gasolers. Water losses, metering, and the meters in most of our utilities either cannot even register small flows, and there are utilities, a number of utilities which even are yet to install meters. They are yet to reach the universal metering. Tracking flows in the system is still a problem. Now on wastewater, I mentioned about fuel sludge, but also where we treat. Some have become as holding tanks. Treatment is not fully and we don't utilize the resource therefrom.
Sonko, you had 30 seconds a minute ago. So now you owe me time.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for this one. Over to the young professionals team. Evelyn, over to you. Same questions.
Thank you, Farah. Before I emphasize why our senior leaders need to exit, yes.
She said need to exit. Is that what you said? Wow. Okay.
Allow me give you a snapshot of the evolution of water supply and sanitation services globally. In the mid-20th century, water management relied on largely scale public infrastructure projects, for example, dams and pipelines. However, these systems often ignored local adaptability and environmental sustainability. The 1980s and 1990s saw global initiatives like international drinking water supply and sanitation decade, but progress was slow due to funding gaps and governance challenges. The 2000s marked a shift with the Millennium Development Goals, followed by the Sustainable Development Goals, aiming for universal access to clean water and sanitation by 2030. Recent years have seen a rise in decentralization, smart solutions, from Internet of Things-based water meters to mobile payment systems for water access driven largely by young innovators. So why is the younger generation key? Africa's youth is made up of over 75% of the population, meaning they are the center of long-term solution. The younger generation is at the forefront of digital water governance, using data analytics, AI, and mobile technologies to enhance efficiency. Traditional models that the seniors have been using have struggled with corruption, inefficiency, and lack of community engagement, whereas the technological youth-led innovations promote transparency, affordability, and community-driven solutions. Thank you. The younger generation have a natural affinity with technological innovations and digital solutions. I think we all witnessed that earlier at the beginning. Technology has transformed the water and sanitation sector, and the younger generation is leading this transformation. Unlike traditional methods, we leverage AI, Internet of Things, and mobile applications to optimize water distribution, reduce waste, and improve sanitation access. I'll give an example of National Water and Sewerage Corporation. Digital solutions and mobile apps developed by NWSC's young and vibrant IT specialists and engineers offer customers a seamless experience and services. The in-house developed digital solutions like e-banking, e-procurement, human resource management system, e-board, and e-accounting, among others, are reshaping the way business is conducted in National Water and Sewerage Corporation. However, some may argue that traditional methods are more reliable. However, data solutions enable real-time monitoring, predictive maintenance, and transparency, preventing failures before they occur. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Evelyn. To keep the momentum, we're going to go straight into the solutions round. So for the solutions round, each team will also have 5 minutes per theme to present actionable proposals that combine both proven methods with innovative approaches. We're looking for practical solutions that, one, can be implemented at scale, address both short-term needs and long-term sustainability, leverage the strength of both generations, ideally, and are adaptable across different African contexts. All right? So, as a sign of respect, I'm always starting with the senior professionals team. Did you notice? Géraldine, you notice, right? En signe de respect, je commence toujours par les seniors. Hein? Tu as remarqué? Ok, c'est bon. Ouf! All right, senior professionals team, you have the floor. Great, Dr. Barbara, please. All right, so we're going to ask you to share your roadmap for building climate resilient water systems, successfully integrating new technologies, and creating effective intergenerational collaboration. Let's remember that the themes are the same as for the challenges. The first round was about presenting the challenges. This current round is about presenting solutions to the challenges that were shared earlier. We're together, right? Okay, I see a lot of nodding. Good. Over to you.
Let me take it away. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I wanted to first acknowledge the energy from that side of the room. It's brilliant. But I wanted to comment on my colleagues. Sorry, I forgot your name. The young man who spoke earlier.
Evelyn.
Yeah?
Evelyn.
No, not Evelyn.
Francine.
Serge.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh, yeah, Serge.
Serge. Yeah, Serge. When you spoke about 2050, I went to my calculator and I said, damn, I'll still be around, man. So we ain't gone yet, yeah, we are still here. So we decided as a group that for the solutions, I'm going to talk about IT, so I'll focus on the technology side. And our presentation will not focus on the technology or technical aspects. I'm going to talk about the intergenerational relationship and what we see as some of what might happen there. And I'm putting this in 4 principles, and these are things you've all heard before. These are sayings or proverbs, call them what you like. So the first one, I have 4. The first one is, if it is not broke, don't fix it. Yeah, and that's really a message for my young people, yeah. What we are able to do for you is to help you navigate the do's and the don'ts. It is very easy to come in with a new idea and you end up throwing the baby with the bathwater. And I think where we can add value, you can't hear?
No, we can hear you. Please continue.
Where we can add value is to really help you think through, are these really ideas that should be thrown away, or are they ideas upon which you should build with your great innovations and other ideas that you have? I'm always amazed at how much piloting goes on in Africa from different quarters, and I think some of that may actually be anti-development of the sector. So I think we need to just watch on that. My second one is that all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And why I say this is you can learn from us, the tricks of how to engage, particularly with external partners. Yes, there is no knowledge, there is no innovation which has a geographic or social boundary, and yet they do exist. So how do you navigate those invisible boundaries which really do exist in this world? Because we would like you to be out there on an equal footing with the rest of the world, but you cannot really do it by yourself without learning the tricks from the old dogs, as it were. Number 3. He who pays the piper does what? Calls the tune. I like the fact that we have so much innovation on the continent. It's amazing. The energy from the youth is amazing. But you guys need somebody to help you incubate and grow those ideas. So you need somebody with a pocket. And right now, I think that pocket sits on this side of the table. Yeah? So, yeah. But we would really like that we help you to do this so that the technologies you're coming up with are context specific. They work for us. They are local. Local is LACA, but we need somebody to finance that local LACA. And the final one is that a people without culture are a dead people. And I think that this team on this side holds that door for you, to pass on to you. Who are we as an African people? Even as we go out there and compete at the international level, we must have our identity. We must retain that. And it is this group that will pass on the tricks of how do we become as innovative as possible, but we maintain our identity so that the contribution of Africa can be recognized for what it is, that this is a contribution that has come from the African continent, and therefore you will still need us for a little while. And like I said, I have a suspicion all of us on this side, 2050, we will still be here. So look up to us to help you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Barbara. You've done enough for the sector that you were actually able to change the rules of the game. We were supposed to discuss climate change first. You decided to give general insights. I'm not sure these young folks are going to do the same. So over to you.
Thank you so much. 2050, because then all the solutions that we're proposing as a team, we do need you around. So firstly, it is indeed to say the youth-led innovation is crucial for building climate resilience across the sector, not just our sector, because since yesterday we've been hearing that we do need to talk with the different sectors and collaborate with the sectors. Why then young professionals are quite key into ensuring that we do build a much more climate resilient community. It was mentioned by my colleagues that the young professionals bring the fresh perspective, the creativity, as well as transformed storytelling, which we all witnessed yesterday on the stage with the dance crew that told the story through creativity and art. Young people are bringing that to the table. Furthermore, the young people are indeed bringing the sense of urgency, which was mentioned by our keynote during the session. And the way we've been doing it lately is to ensure that all the work that the young people are doing, even voluntary in the communities, is impact-driven to serve the local community. Also, the young people are indeed more technologically inclined. I won't repeat what my colleague said because we've all witnessed it here today. And the thing with the technology is indeed changing quite fast. And the young people are able to keep up with those trends online as well as offline. And lastly, Mr. Serge mentioned that we are much more socially connected across the continent. We are quite fast to mobilize, connect with each other, and even use association like AfWASA to be able to work across the continent, even virtually. So therefore, indeed, the young professionals are the leaders of not only tomorrow, but also today. So now getting into the much more practical solutions that I think we can then use from that angle, from the research, innovation, as well as knowledge, how then as the young people, we can be able to tackle the matter at hand. The community-driven initiatives that the young people are putting on the ground, we need to therefore continue to collaborate with the senior professionals to make sure that they are indeed addressing the local needs. And this was addressed even by the MD of Eswatini, Honorable Jabulile. So now with that, then the aspect that the young people are trying to bring, which responds to your comment of if it is not broken, don't fix it. So therefore, with the young people, to ensure that we are indeed addressing the local needs, looking into those indigenous communities and tapping into that indigenous knowledge, as the young people who I would say still have many more years of innovating, as well as conducting much more transformed and inclusive research, we can therefore be able to ensure that any new research that has been conducted, or the innovations being conducted, is actually able to focus on the co-production of the knowledge, whereby we are able to ensure the indigenous knowledge as well as the scientific knowledge are taken into account to address climate action. Therefore, where it is not broken, to make sure that that still is much more improved without messing it up, we therefore ensure that the integration of what's already in practice to say it is not broken, but how can we as the young professionals ensure that what is already there is much more transformed and inclusive of the marginalized community. On the technology aspect, that yes, indeed, we do need the funding, but with that, young professionals can therefore be brought to the table, as mentioned by my colleagues, to be involved not only during the public consultation, but all the way to the decision-making process, evaluation and monitoring of these initiatives, because the very same young people can be able to improve the climate strategies policies, solutions that are there regarding climate funding, where we can ensure that we have a much more blended financing that can be able to improve the current status and access of funding to the local communities as well as the young people. And also, let us not forget, yes, we do need the funding, but also young people have been quite very creative and successful to also find means of raising funds through use of technology and social media, because the community and the young people do indeed care about the work at hand. Then last two, didn't see my timekeeper? Okay, yes. So the last two key things I'm going to touch with the awareness and advocacy, because I think we can all agree that young people have indeed done so much work regarding the awareness and advocacy, and the keynote speaker did mention that. So with that aspect, to address the issue at hand regarding the pollution at the source of our water resources, the young people can continue to collaborate with the senior professionals to ensure that the awareness that is being done on the ground does not only then respond to the local needs, but actually also break that scientific jargon that the communities are dealing with, so they can understand to say, if we're talking about the nutrients that the senior professionals also mentioned there, to the community, if you want them to stop to using the plastic and wanting them to not have the nutrients leading to our water resources, the young are able to use creativity, science communication that we've been seeing it growing across different utilities in the continent, to ensure that the community can therefore understand and see the benefits of protecting these water resources. Because back to the indigenous communities, the communities do care about water resources, because some of them are seen as a spiritual space of the community, and we therefore just need to be able to bridge that gap between the scientific aspect of it as well as the local, much more focused aspect of that. Young people, we are here, and we are here to collaborate, but therefore we should be involved from the planning, policy formulation, all the way to evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Adwa. Well done. Well done. Thank you. So we're moving along quite well, right? You guys are getting energized, huh? I'm talking to the senior folks. Okay, good. All right. Last ones. Silly and Hess, please. Solutions. Remember, we're focused on solutions.
I remember.
You remember. Good. Do you imply that he does not remember? As a Silly, over to you. Silly, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. The debate is indeed getting hotter, and probably we're getting into extra time. It seems we've played the whole 90 minutes and even injury time, but still it's a stalemate. So let's see how we move it. And from my perspective, I'm really looking at the issue around solutions to climate change and probably the climate resilience strategies. Now, for us as senior professionals, we're looking at this. For us as senior professionals, we're looking at this in two ways. One, we're looking at the national level, where we have the government to take its rightful role, and then secondly, the utilities themselves, so that indeed we are climate resilient. Now, at the national level, as was already elaborated earlier on, we really need to define and have a conducive legal and regulatory framework. One that will now define how we respond to matters around climate change, but even regulate the issues that the young professionals raise, the issue of plastics and all that. So you need that registration to be in there to really mitigate that. Who is better placed to lead in as far as coming up with the regulatory framework is concerned? Certainly, these guys here, the seniors. Then the other aspect at the national level again is probably to strengthen the national systems for science-based climate information. One of the challenges that has been seen in the fight against climate change is to say the continent as Africa doesn't really have robust systems in terms of that data. Now, probably from the national level, we really need to put up national systems, probably strengthen our MET departments. And as we would already know, at that level again, who is better placed to do that and to initiate and implement that? The seniors. Then we move on again at the national level, the issue of the financing framework. Now, looking at climate change and climate resilience, if we really have to win the battle, if we really have to win the war, we need financing. So there is the need for government to put up a strong financing mechanism that will define how we'll finance those initiatives. As we indicated, it could be through either the national budgets or indeed it could be through the tariff mechanism, as it were. Now, to lobby the members of parliament, to lobby parliament itself, the registry, who is better placed to go to parliament and have his weight head this side. Now, going to the utilities themselves, again, the utilities, there are three aspects. One, research and capacity building. We have heard all those keynote speeches, including Dr. Jennifer from South Africa. On this one, yes, we give respect to our young professionals. You have to take the lead in terms of, at the end of the day, as we said, once that is done, we have to build the internal capacities to make sure that those are
true solution is that the young people have a seat at the table where decisions are made. There can be, okay, go on. There can be 5 senior generals, which is fine, where the decisions are made. But at least we're going to need one young person to give them a reality check once in a time. Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you, Hess. Before we move on to the questions from the audience, I'd like one representative from each team to share with all of us one statement. So one powerful statement, ideally, that you want everyone to remember as they walk out of this room about strengthening intergenerational collaboration in the water and sanitation sector. One key message that you would like to share with all of us here. So I need one person from each team. Dr. Barbara, you up for it? Evelyn? We're still starting with the elders, Evelyn. We're still starting with the elders.
Thank you for respecting us. Yeah, for this one, I'm actually moving a little bit to the side of the youth. And I think this has been a very interesting discussion for me, but it also set me thinking. And I was thinking, yeah, you guys have an uphill battle. And why you have an uphill battle is because our marginalized groups are still marginalized within the sector. And I want to talk about the women, for instance. Yesterday we had the Women's Forum, and still we are like 1 in 4 women who are in senior leadership within the water sector. So that battle is uphill, and I would really like to say that as a sector, when we look at our youths who really have a lot of solutions for us over the coming years, we really need to think about it in the context of bringing in everybody who is marginalized so that their voices can really be heard. And for the youths, it has to be a combined effort between the youths and the women and other groups that are still left out of the decision-making table in the sector.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing your wisdom. Over to you, Evelyn.
Thank you, Farah. The future of water and sanitation is digital, climate smart, and inclusive. And Africa's young generation is best positioned for this transformation.
All right, short and sweet. Thank you, Evelyn. So I saw a lot of nodding, so we're going to go into the Q&A discussion. Feel free to ask any questions that you would like to address to both of the teams. All right, I already see 3 hands up, 4. All right, we'll start with you in the front, sir.
Yeah, I admire this discussion, but to the seniors, maybe I could have a question about why are we talking here about climate change, resilience, and how water sector can contribute when the water sector is contributing only 1% to the carbon emission, while IT and EI technologies are contributing 2%, twice as much as water sector altogether. And to the youngsters, I would like to ask a question that we have asked during the UN Water Conference to our public. Would you be ready to pay, a very serious question, would you be ready to pay as much for water services what you get, water supply and sanitation, as much as you pay for telecommunication. Because, I hope your answer will be yes, over 90% was saying this, but no one in the world is paying as much. And the task for you, to bring to the 75% of African population, to the young people, this message: be ready to pay as much for water services as for telecommunication, because then water services will be able to provide smart metering, data processing, all the other stuff, because then you will have the future in the professional field, and the young generation, those 75%, will have its future even in 50 years. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll take a few more and then we'll get to the panel. Please remember, this is not the time for comments. These are question time. Okay? All right, over to you. Oh, please use the mic because there's translation. You want to make a comment? Well, you know I can't say no to my elders. You've seen how I've handled this thing, so please go ahead.
Okay. Speak to the mic. First of all, to the young people, I want to say, don't believe everything they tell you. Challenge them. They haven't done so well. They failed in terms of delivering. Even in terms of what they say, in terms of, they keep on saying this climate change thing. What is it? Did you challenge them? Did you ask them what it's all about? You guys should try and quantify that, to try and see what it's all about. Because everybody's cotton on to that terminology. And if you want me to comment on what it really is, I can. But you should be able to challenge that. Okay, we have the older people. I'm old, okay? I got my PhD in water engineering in 1981. So that's a long time ago. And I've been involved in this industry since then. Now, as we get older, we have experience. Some of us get knowledge out of that experience. Even less of those have wisdom coming out of that knowledge. Now, you can gain out of the wise ones in terms of understanding the basic principles of what it's all about, because you have the tools and the skills to apply that technology. And I'll give you some examples. Say I'm a professor at university. 9 out of 10 of PhDs I've seen in water engineering are a waste of time. Useless paper. Why? Because the professor wasn't wise enough to guide properly the students to choose the right topic. That's one example. Example number 2, basic principles. Separate water resources from service delivery. Water resources is all about too much, too little, too dirty. That's it. And they have their own problems. Service delivery is more complicated. It's a balance of 3 different drivers. The one being the service level, and that means quality, quantity, and type of connection. The second one is risk of failure, and the third one is cost. If we, the older ones, explain to you the cycle of operations that has to happen within a utility, which is extremely complex. It took me more than 30 years to understand, and that's what I'm an expert in. If we let you understand that, then you can come with your artificial intelligence, with your Internet of Things, even with your blockchain, knowledge and ideas, and apply it properly. You mentioned about optimizing leakage. It's not as simple as that in terms of artificial intelligence. We use a lot of artificial intelligence in my company, but that has to be based on what it's all about. Us, the elder ones, have to give guidelines to the younger ones in terms of where that can be applied, and then they can apply it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, not a question, a comment, and advice for both generations. Over to, okay, there's a lady over there, sir. So I'll get back to you, but women first. Go ahead. In the blue suit. Thank you.
Merci, je vais aller en français. Moi, c'est Dr Massin Avmadi. Je suis directeur général de la Société de patrimoine, eau et assainissement en milieu urbain et semi-urbain au Togo. J'accepte que je suis jeune et je comprends durant ce débat qui est vraiment très important parce que c'est une thématique aujourd'hui qui devient une problématique pour la réussite de nos sociétés et les défis actuels. Nous devons comprendre les deux générations, ce que moi j'ai noté, que nous voulons des aînés ouverts, compréhensifs et qui sont prêts à transmettre. La jeunesse que nous sommes également, nous voulons des jeunes, vraiment, même toutes les technologies que nous mettons en place, si nos aînés ne nous ont pas bien expliqué, nous n'allons pas su développer cette technologie. Donc aujourd'hui, les jeunes, on veut tisser de l'ancienne corde une nouvelle corde, mais nous n'oublions pas non plus que la génération qui nous suit nous dévance déjà. Nous avons de nos enfants aujourd'hui, quand on les voit, on se dit, mais je commence pas à être vieux, je commence pas à être vieille. Oh, c'est pas ça. C'est le temps, l'évolution. Nous aussi, nous allons être comme nos aînés dans peu de temps. Donc c'est vraiment une question de collaboration que moi je vois à travers cette thématique. Comment nous pouvons être ensemble ouverts. Nous avons également aujourd'hui des jeunes, tel qu'on le dit, très rapide. Au même moment, nous avons des jeunes qui n'innovent pas, qui ne sont pas disponibles, qui ne veulent pas apprendre comme les aînés ou bien qui ne veulent pas transmettre également. Donc vraiment, ce débat, il faut qu'on ressente en se disant que oui, les vieux, on ne veut pas vous chasser. On veut travailler avec vous et puis soyez ouverts. Parmi vous, la génération qui ne veut pas transmettre, de grâce, sortez-les de vos rangs. Et nous sommes prêts à travailler vraiment avec vous. On ne veut rien arracher. Donc rassurez-vous, nous allons bientôt rejoindre votre camp aussi. C'est dans très peu de temps. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. All right, so another comment for both generation advice and a request. I'm going to go to that side and then I'll come back here. Over to you in the gray suit. I see you. All right. I don't know where my timekeeper is, but I need to know whether I'm doing good. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
My name is Henk Holtslag from the Meter Smart Center Group, and I have a question for the youth group. You mentioned the need for emerging technologies, and one example of such emerging technologies are new household water filters that can be produced locally, that were tested by the WHO, the World Health Organization, and that cost $25 per filter. Now in Ethiopia, utilities sell these filters now as an additional service because, as many other companies, they know they cannot guarantee safe water 24/7. So my question to you is, first, do you agree that household water filters are a good solution for safe water for all? And then second, how can you help to convince the older generation that this is a good solution?
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have two questions for the young professionals group. I need a question for the senior team. Pour le groupe des seniors? Oui? Parfait. I see you. I'll come back. I mean, I'm from Senegal. I have to.
Je suis Monsieur Mamadou Dia. Je suis l'ancien président directeur général de la Sénégalaise des eaux et aussi ancien président de l'AAECIE. Moi, je m'adresse aux jeunes à qui je pose la question en tout en leur rappelant deux proverbes peuls. Les aînés ne sont pas Dieu, mais ils sont restés longtemps avec Dieu. Et la deuxième chose, que les habits neufs servent les vieux habits servent à préserver les habits neufs. Donc, ma question c'est de dire aujourd'hui, dans notre secteur, nous avons besoin d'optimisation et que la bonne ingénierie est celle qui allie la technique à la finance. Comment vous allez vous y prendre? Comment vous allez développer aussi un dialogue fructueux et porteur de progrès et de performance avec vos aînés dans le cadre de l'évolution de nos entreprises? Merci.
Brilliant question. Merci. I'm being told that this is the last question. So over to the one with the hat and then we'll have to stop.
Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bon, moi, ce n'est pas une question, juste une petite contribution de 30 secondes. Moi, je suis docteur Ibrahim Djolobi Mamadou. Je suis du Niger. Je suis là au nom de l'autorité de régulation du secteur de l'eau. J'avoue que les échanges sont assez constructifs et très intéressants. Moi, je signalerais que ces échanges, moi, je relève la question de complémentarité. C'est une question de complémentarité parce qu'il y a un adage qui dit que c'est avec les vieilles marmites qu'on prépare des bons repas. Alors, moi, je pense que pour construire l'avenir, il est essentiel et fondamental de s'apaisantir sur les expériences. Les expériences pour éviter les erreurs du passé, pour capitaliser ce qui est bon et prévenir l'avenir. Je pense que c'est un débat d'interaction, de collaboration.
Il ne s'agit pas d'un panel, il s'agit d'un débat. Donc il s'agit de poser des questions à nos gens qui sont ici pour qu'en fait ils puissent ensuite répondre parce qu'il s'agit d'un débat, n'est-ce pas?
Absolument, absolument.
Voilà. Vous pourrez donner donc votre commentaire plus tard. Si
après
je
mon
vous donne 30
commentaire,
secondes, et après, on y
ma
va.
petite question après le commentaire, c'est que comment cette transition, comment les anciens pensent assurer cette transition pour transmettre le message aux jeunes, en tout cas qui sont actifs et les jeunes professionnels. Donc c'est une question que j'adresse à l'égard des anciens. Merci.
Parfait. Au Mali. Dernière.
Merci beaucoup. Très brièvement, je m'appelle Traoré Fatim Hélène du Mali. Au lieu de faire un commentaire, je pose la question. Pourquoi ne pas tout simplement institutionnaliser le système de mentorat dans les entreprises et les organisations? Je m'en arrête là. Merci.
Donc ça, c'est une question pour le groupe des seniors, j'imagine. Ok, parfait. Donc on va commencer par cette question-là d'ailleurs. Senior, who would like to tackle this question? Why not institutionalize mentorship? Can we help with the microphone?
Alors, merci pour les questions et je voudrais rapidement prendre la dernière question de Hélène Fatim pour dire que effectivement c'est une piste qui est même déjà empruntée par certaines organisations. Je sais, je vais parler sous le contrôle de l'équipe du Burkina Faso, je ne sais pas s'il y en a dans la salle, mais nous avons eu un webinaire il y a quelques semaines, enfin quelques mois, avec l'ONEA, où ils nous faisaient comprendre qu'ils ont un programme où on met ensemble des seniors et des jeunes. Lorsqu'on sait que sur un poste, quelqu'un va partir à la retraite, on les met ensemble et avec des objectifs, enfin, c'est institutionnalisé. Donc c'est tout à fait possible et peut-être qu'il faudrait que davantage d'entreprises, de sociétés d'eau et d'assainissement s'en inspirent pour essayer d'adresser cette question-là, qui est essentielle. Merci.
Parfait. Young professionals team, do you want to tackle the question around would you pay as much for water services that we would invest in education? Who would like to take that one on? Evelyn, Francine, Hess? Yes, the very first question from the gentleman in the blue suit.
Right? Yeah.
Telecommunications.
I got it right then. I can get it. Does this one work? Oh, here. All right. Thank you for your question. I think it's a valid question. Are we ready to pay more? I don't know. And I think the answer lies a bit in between, because obviously using AI or machine learning, it's not the goal. It's a measure to become more efficient, right? So in one way, we are investing energy in, for example, using AI to detect leaks in our network. But that means that we also use our electricity at the treatment plant better because we are losing less water. So I think it's more of a balanced system instead of on top what is already there. That would be my answer. You shake no. You don't agree. Personally,
Use the mic, please. please. Use the mic. I think it's interesting. So
Yeah,
push
you
it up.
personally and the other 750 million young people in Africa, but it's about the world. Whether we are ready and when we will understand, okay, water for all and letting no one behind. But even in the last slam, people who are not able to pay for water all have mobile telephones.
Let's not
How we-
elaborate. Your question is very clear.
Yeah.
You need to answer now, Hes.
Yes, so it's a tough question. So I pay my water bill in the Netherlands, in Europe, and I always say it's too cheap. In the Netherlands it is, I agree. And I don't think that people are the ones that should be facing the consequences of increasing prices. So I think we should look at ways to keep the prices stable. But I think in the Netherlands it's too cheap, yeah.
Moving on to the third question around house water filters. Who would like to take that one on? I believe it was for the younger generation.
Okay. All right, I will answer the first part. So the question on the water filters, if it is a good solution for safe water access, yeah, sure. I think it is one of the tools in the toolbox of a drinking water utility to get safe water at remote places, for example. That's what I would say. And Otwa wanted to answer the second part of this question.
If I'm correct, I think the second part was a direct question to the young professionals on how would we then convince the senior professionals to make use of the technology. Yeah, okay.
Correct.
So I think with that one, we can look at it beyond the senior professionals in terms of those who are sitting in the decision-making processes and in the boards, like the quiet experts. It goes back to the statements or the position that we've put as the young professionals that you address the local needs. So before even getting to the policymakers, the decision makers, you need to start it at the ground level. The end users of those filters need to understand their significance. They need to be able to see how to use them. And also in these marginalized communities, like the indigenous communities as well, they need to be able to understand whether use of that will not contradict their religious beliefs and their traditions to begin with. Because some communities are quite specific about anything that you introduce, especially related to water and sanitation. So I think that it will be the first step to first be able to convince the people that are going to be using it, and then from there be able to instill the knowledge of that with them being involved and understanding how to use those filters, and then they can also see themselves as the co-owners of such an initiative. Then you can be able to produce things that you can quantify and document to the policymakers to ensure that therefore this is something that indeed the public will use and will be sustainable. And then I think in that way, with the young professionals, we can be able then to assist you with the senior professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Adwa. Great point. Moving on to the senior professionals team about this, the last question from Mr. Ja from Senegal, which was around optimization between technology and finance.
What was the question? The question, please.
The question from Mr. Ja around optimization and how would you go about optimizing between technology and finance? How do you hit the right balance?
Okay, thank you. I think the question was, thanks again, distinguished elder, previous president, is it, of AfWASA? Yeah, thank you. So yes, I think striking the right balance between the technological requirements and the investment requirements. The technological requirements and the investment required, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's quite a question looking at the debate that we have been having. We have the young professionals, and again, we are looking at the space itself. We really need the technological advancements in as far as the issues surrounding water and sanitation, the challenges that we have are concerned. But then we have to leverage on the financing bit. Now, looking at what we're on saying, and again, getting the presentations from the morning, we need these technologies, but also need to be ready to finance them. How do we do that? It's a question of now us as utilities building up our capacity to even generate more, even by our own. I think in the morning we had examples where there is that move for utilities to go towards creditworthiness rating, okay? This is a phenomenon that is probably one that is only in the private sector. But now we're saying even in the public sector, the utilities should go that way, because then they'll be attractive in terms of accessing financing, be it from bilaterals or indeed from the money markets. So to me, building those internal capacities within is again one game changer as far as accessing that investment finance is concerned. Then again, building operational efficiencies. As we speak, the indicators within the water sector on operational efficiencies, you look at non-revenue water, you look at collection efficiency, you look at the number of connections. If we worked and pushed on what we already have, the low-hanging fruits, again, it's an easy way to get more revenue, more financing from what we already have before even we go outside. So for me, yes, we can leverage on the technologies, improve our operational efficiencies, and we should be able to leave the low-hanging fruits. But again, we should be able to leverage on technologies to be able now to generate more, even from the others that can come in to support. Thank you.
Great, thank you. I'm afraid we've actually run out of time, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask to all of you members of the audience to please connect on this QR code that you see on the screen using your phone or your devices, so that we can actually pick the winner of the debate. We've heard about challenges, we've heard about solutions, we've heard about opportunities, and we've even had guidance and advice for both generations. Now it's time to pick the winner. So we actually had a series of 3 questions, but we're not going to go into that. We're going to go straight into the 4th question, which is about who made the most compelling case to save Africa's water future. And I'd like to just mention as well, please do not vote for people who are in your age bracket. This is not about that. It's about who made the most compelling case. It's not about young versus the older generation. Who made the best case? All right? Good. Are you able to connect on the Mentimeter? For those who don't know, you just need to open your camera app, and then the link will show up. Oh, that's already there. Hey. All right, so right now the professionals are down. For my team, I'm just going to ask them to tell me when it's time to stop the Mentimeter and everyone has voted. Oh, young folks, you're losing. You are losing. Oh, wow, very, very close. When are we closing? In about, what, 20 seconds? All right, 20 seconds and then we close.
Moderator.
Oh.
Moderator, the voting is closed. There's leaking now.
No. Bon, là, l'écart se creuse, hein, donc, I mean, this is undebatable. The exact... 5. Okay, we're counting down from 10, and then we're from 5, and then we're stopping. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Well done, well done. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to our amazing panelists. Thank you to the audience. Merci d'avoir joué le jeu avec nous. Yes. Before we go, I'm going to ask all of the panelists to do a family photo, and maybe just one last word. I hope that what you get from this debate is that it's not about competition, it's very much about collaboration. So I'm going to challenge all of you to please start a conversation, share your knowledge, be open to new ideas, and hopefully we'll definitely be able to turn today's insight into tomorrow's impact. So thank you very much, and have a great evening, everybody. Thank you. Are you having the picture without me? What? I'm separating the 2 teams. Good.
So I request we don't leave.
Well done, well done.
We have just one last very interesting event I don't think you want to miss. I kindly request we hold on just for a few minutes. We've had a very interesting day, and we say we are the climax. So
On this side of the blue.
it's one of those games when you watch, when you leave and then your team is winning and they score. So you don't want to leave. So Anis? So cut down. So you introduce.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's very hard to follow
Thank
such
you,
a...
thank you. Take care, everybody. Well done. Bravo.
It's very hard to follow such an exciting climax to the afternoon. We, as Grundfos, have been trying globally to raise awareness about water access, and in so doing we have actually financed a film to be sorry guys, can I don't want to break up your party, but so yeah, we financed a film which will come out on Netflix, and you get to see the preview of it here. It is a sequel to the film that Matt Damon did, Brave Blue World, and it's called Our Blue World. And actually, we're really proud as Grundfos because it features one of our valued partners, AAECIE Water, who's here with us, who are driving water access in Burundi. So I'll hand over now so you can hear more about AAECIE and their great work, and then we will preview this film that will show on Netflix, hopefully later this year, and you can tell everyone you've already seen it. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please have